Welcome to the Freud's Angels weekly reading, bringing the collective guidance and understanding for this week's energy.
Remember, never give your power up to a reader or a reading. You always have the power of autonomy. Hey, angels, welcome to your weekly reading. We are reading from the 16th of August through the 22nd. Like, what is happening? So much. Sorry. So much is happening. Last week's weekly reading was very long and it was very detailed. So please go back and listen, even if it's not that week, because there's a lot of information about astrology that we will not be repeating in this podcast because it was a lot. But yeah, let's talk to the mermaids. Vanessa.
Well, I purposely did not look at this card until I looked at it, but I didn't look at it until just now. Because, we had been recording the other reading and I was like, no, I want it to be fresh. I don't want to cloud anything. So I'm really looking at it now. And what I love about cards, especially where there's multiple mermaids on it, is that I'm always like, ooh, which one's going to jump out at me? And so this week, the support card came out. And there's 3 beautiful dark mermaids on here, different layers of darkness, it looks like. And they're all doing different things. And the one that stood out to me is the one in the middle. And she is looking over her shoulder and she happens to have a hoop earring on. So not a shocker. Love a hoop earring. Feels powerful to me. And the reason why I think that she is standing out to me is because support means a lot of things. And I know I say this all the time. Like every time a card comes out, I'm like, what does that word mean to you? But it's because words matter. And doing what I do all the time, and we're always talking about words. And I am constantly talking to people about the meanings of words, the meanings of feelings words, the meanings of words that other people are saying that you're taking on without knowing what they mean when they say it. There's a lot that gets misunderstood because of different meanings of words, period. I just watch it all the time, especially with my couples where they're like, well, respect. And I'm like, well, respect means something different to both of you. And you're both throwing around a word without knowing what each other means when you say it. So we get taught more about what those actions look like, yada, yada. Anyway, so same with support, because support, gosh, that means so many different things to different people. And you have to know what it means to you in order to ask for it and receive it. And also recognize what you don't want when it comes to support so that you have a boundary. And I think that this middle mermaid, she's looking over her shoulder. She's got her one hand kind of on her shoulder also. She feels very I'll let you know what I need. You don't get to tell me. And I love that a little bit because that's kind of how I feel. But because she is looking over her shoulder, she's not receiving. Her back is turned, however. So to me, this feels like the discernment of support card, even though all those words aren't on there. Right? Of understanding what it means to get what it is that you need versus what other people think that you need or other people want to offer you, or even what you've been programmed to believe you need, deserve, want, right? A lot of people talk about community, and then when they start to get around people, they don't love it, or they want friends, and then they get friends and the friends want to be all up in their biz and they're like, oh my God, friendship sucks. There's all these different things that happen. But when it comes to support, I want you to really think about what support means. And I'll tell you what it means to me. I feel, as me as a person, emotional support is the greatest support for me. I don't necessarily want actions, because sometimes I really enjoy doing the things that I do, and it feels like something's being taken from me if you do it. right? And so people will come and want to do like acts of service, and I am not receiving, it does not feel like receiving support. It feels awful, like I might not love that. And that's something I've had to work through, of whether or not that's my fierce independence or if it's me. And I always use the example of cooking, where I'm like, I want somebody who'll cook for me. It turns out that yes, but also it's not that deep. Like, I actually really love it. The kitchen witch in me does love to do it. I like to occasionally have the choice, is really what it is. So if somebody wants to come in and be that person more than I get to be that person, I don't think that's for me necessarily. You can be in there with me, but you can't do it for me, right?
Yeah.
Because that takes away a big part of like how I alchemize magic.
Yeah.
Is through cooking and food. So that was just one example, right? And so, but emotional support matters so much to me. And what does that mean? To me, it's like I knowing that people, and this I've just known from throughout life, they don't have to get me in order to love me, in order to trust me, in order to cheerlead for me and say, that makes sense for you. It doesn't make sense for me. Doesn't matter. I believe in you. I love that you get to be who you are. And I love that about you. Right. To me, that's very supportive because it allows me to be free. It allows me to try things. It allows me to feel like I'm like my relationships don't depend on things that I won't lose the support depending on what I'm doing in my life because hey, I've done a lot of things in my life. I kind of, you know, sometimes people don't agree with what I'm doing. So that matters more to me. And so I do have to be discerning of the people that are in my life and what support means to them. Right. So if somebody comes into my life and we have this conversation and we'll say like maybe a romantic relationship, because that we know is the challenge of my lifetime. What does a supportive partner look like to me? Some people, a supportive partner looks like somebody who is the main breadwinner in the house, even, right? They're talking, hey, financially supportive feels really safe for me because I can provide blank support to that person and it works out, right? Like, though that can be a thing in a relationship. Again, to me, I just need your emotional support. I everything like Everything else, man, I actually do love doing for the most part. The support that I need is be willing in case, right? And that's where she's got her back there saying, "I got this, but I'm gonna look over the shoulder, and as long as you're there, I'm good. As long as you're there willing, I'm good." That's what it means to me. I love that. So that's why she stands out to me. I see myself in Middle Mermaid over here. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, girl, I feel you." But overall, again, overall, the idea is, what does support mean to you? Really sit and think about it because most people have been trained to believe in certain kinds of support, but then in their actual lives, it's not what they really, really want. It's not what really helps them thrive. And that's why they struggle, right? Because they're asking for something and then they get it and it doesn't make them feel the way that they think they're supposed to feel because it's somebody else's programming telling them what support is, telling them how you're supposed to feel when somebody does A, B, or C for you. So really sit and think about what being supported means to you
Yeah.
and, you know, how you prefer to receive it, how you prefer to ask for it. All of that goes in it, but the main part of this is you're not gonna be able to get what you want if you don't know what you want. The amount of people I ask, "What do you want?" "I don't know." "Great, that's why you don't have it." I mean, all my clients have had that where they're like, "Bitch," but like, yeah, I get it. So, yeah, you can't ask for support and be like, "Nobody supports me," if you don't truly know what it means to be supportive. It doesn't if you don't know what it means, what you're actually looking for, and how to receive it, you are not going to feel it. You're not going to get it because you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Figure it out before you ask, before you figure it out in the outside world, you gotta figure it out on the inside world.
And also be open to changing what that is because At times we think we know what we did, the help that we want, and then we realize, oh, you know what? I actually need this and not that. And so
Well, yeah,
it's
because like
about that.
everything, right? Like until I think I want something, and then I get there, and I'm like, I liked the idea of that. So let me go back to the idea of that and be like, how else could that look?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. That's interesting. We talk about support, but again, we're rolling with our Oracle of the Birds, Wisdom of the Birds. And this week we have Turkey. Turkeys is about abundance, nourishment, and wisdom. And I think the lesson, so we talk about support and we talk about our relationship with it and how we feel about it and how we receive it or not, or accept it or not. And the turkey, yes, talks about wisdom, but are we avoiding certain pieces of wisdom about ourselves within ourselves in order to have it be easy? Like we talk about, it's just easier to do it myself because I'll do it right. Like that type of mentality of, okay, well, why do I resist receiving help? Like why do I think I have to control everything? What is it that what does having support equal in my brain and in my body? Like, what does it mean? And how is that how is not seeing that serving me? Because we have to ask, are we actively using our wisdom? Are we actively embodying our wisdom? The wisdom of knowing why we avoid help or why we don't ask, feeling burdensome, needing to control, whatever that is important because it gives us information on how to thrive, right? Because our numerology card is asking big things of us. And if we don't understand support and how we receive it or don't, it may be more difficult to do what they're asking us to do because the numerology is number 85 this week. It is about following your dreams. We can follow our dreams, we can do it, but chances are we can't necessarily do it alone.
We can't.
Chances
We're not
chances
solitary beings.
are, and
Mhm.
I'm saying this for the people that think they can, right? I'm just trying to slowly, softly bring that realization into your brain. And where where are we not receiving the support to follow our dreams in ways that has nothing to do with our dreams? Like maybe it's somebody's saying, you know what, let me help you with this. And so then it frees you up time to go and focus on that, right? And we have to understand the complete breadth of wisdom. Now, it's not going to come all in one day, of course, it's how we are. But the one thing I will say, and it's interesting, and I'll use an example because it really tied into something that I surrendered to last week, is that so I have switched to a whole new email like website platform. It has everything, and it's like I truly know that it will be the foundations of creating whatever I'm going to create. Don't know what that is, but there it is. And one of the things, we set up our email through it. And normally with an email service, they set up all that information. They have the ability, you just tie your website in. Everything is all set up, right? In the system I am in, it is just the gateway. It doesn't, you can do it, but it's very complicated. And I was so resistant on going to Google Workspace and having that done. And I, because, I had this, and it's valid. I had this value of I don't want to put money to people that are not of my same values, that are doing things that I feel are not great for the world and the communities and people. But also at the same time, I had to sit with myself of, you know, do I take the help that having Google Workspace offers me and makes it easy for me in order to amplify my work into the world, eat more in a more easier way in order to get my messages, my help, my support that I can give people out there, right? And so I had to decide, is the ease and grace of having this and being able to connect it to the people of the world in order to help them and serve them, is it, I don't want to say better, but is it
Mhm.
easier, more aligned than it is resisting this and going and hammering at this for months and months and months and not being able to send an email out for months because I'm stubborn and because I think that putting money there means that I'm somehow giving in or not doing what I'm supposed to do as a conscious adult, right? And so that relationship with that, like, in order to follow my dreams, I have to understand is that while it may not be a person of support, the support that the Google Workplace gives me allows me to follow my dreams, to amplify my voice into the world, to help support the people that are going against that specific type of company that is trying to like really not take care of the people of the world. And so I know it seems weird, but that understanding, that wisdom gives me the idea, okay, it may not be the support in which, Vanessa was sharing or talking about, but there's different ways we receive support. That support helps me be me into the world and share what I'm here to do in a way that gives an amplification of the healing of humankind.
And we don't do anything alone. I mean, that's the thing about it, right? Like that was one of the first things that I had to learn while I was, and yes, are there things that I'm still being like hurting myself with independence? Of course, yes. I mean, I'm trying. There are certain areas I just keep moving furniture by myself. I don't know. That's like the biggest one. And it just keeps happening. But in a lot of other ways, I've learned how to let go of it because we don't do everything. We don't. If you have a job, you are getting support from somebody else, right? Like we're never doing anything alone. We are relying on other people, whether we like it or not. We're relying on farmers. We're relying on grocery stores. We're relying. Like there is no such thing as we're doing it alone. We are doing certain things alone that we feel comfortable with doing alone because of whatever we fear happens otherwise. That is so when we're like, I'm a strong, independent woman, do it. You ain't growing your own groceries and herding your own cattle and whatever. And the people who are even doing that, right? Like something came before that you still have to rely on. We are not doing it alone, right? We're doing certain things on our own to not have to feel an uncomfortable feeling that happens when we allow another person to do it with us. That's really like something I've really had to work on. Again, still work in progress in a lot of different ways, but my gosh, there's been so many things. I mean, right down to being like, yep, you look up things all the time that help you cook, which means you are receiving help. That is helping you. You are relying on somebody else who has already done this to help you figure it out faster. That is not being wholly independent, right? Like, so just changing the idea of that. And then the other thing that really I learned through this work is I don't need support in the form of people doing things for me. The knowledge that support exists in my life has been good enough in a lot of different ways. And I learned this through when I did actually have to use a safety net. I always knew they were there. I still always know that they are there. That is why I do things the way that I do them, is because if I fail, I know somebody will help me. I know they will. Even if I've never asked them and I don't want to, I could. And that helps me be different in the world. So that helps me be independent because I know I have a fallback or a bunch of fallbacks, whatever fallbacks means. I know that they're there. It's like the silent partner, right, that exists of my network. I know that they're there. So they don't have to actively be doing anything in my life in order to be doing something in my life. I know I'm not alone. I know that I might be solitary in certain things by choice, but I'm not alone. Nobody ever is. It's a choice that we make. And if you want to make a different choice, there is access. And every single part of us in our subconscious does know that, whether you want to admit it or not, that possibility exists. Just because I don't have it doesn't mean I can't get it. It means I'm choosing not to because of whatever fear I have that's related to it. So That's how I feel like when we put all of those together about wisdom and dreams and support and all of that, of saying, like, do not forget that 95% of your brain is operating in the subconscious and unconscious. Those are the automatic things. Those are the ways that you're moving through the world more than the 5% of the conscious way that you're moving in the world. And that's what we are good. It's a good serving to have when you sit down and have this conversation about support and dreams and all that kind of stuff, of being like, there's a lot of subconscious stuff that's driving this. And I might want to bring that to the conscious part of me so that I can feel the satisfaction that I'm actually looking for. I'm not looking for things. I'm looking for satisfaction. I'm looking for that feeling more than that thing, right? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I receive that? That's the wisdom that I think is being asked of us, right? When we're talking about support and dreams, because it's not the thing, it's the feeling, right? Like my dream, the feeling that I'm going to get when I get the dream is what I'm looking for. It could come in 14 different ways, but that feeling is going to be the same. And I just don't know. I'm just wandering through, right? Like searching for little nuggets of wisdom that are leading me along the way. But I loved that part about patience, even though, I don't have it and I have all the sticky notes to remind me to have it, right? Because during that patience part, you learn all of that stuff that we're talking about. We have time and space to bring subconscious to the conscious. We have time to go in there and really realize our resistant moments and really sit in them and allow ourselves to complete the process of reprogramming, instead of sometimes we just kind of rush it and then find ourselves in the same situation again because we didn't complete the process of reprogramming. We discovered the programming. We ran toward the thing that we thought was going to be the opposite of the programming, but we never handled the belief that got there in the first place. And to me, that's the wisdom that goes with support and dreams, is that inner self and that subconscious self and that subconscious programming that changes, our outward expression of our beliefs.
Yeah. Our money card this week: I am soulful custodian for money. I give and receive wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. I'll take that all day. Okay. So y'all, we had a big astrology conversation last week. I'm just going to do Cliff Notes highlight version. Yes, we entered the eclipse. What did you learn? What is coming up? What are you seeing in your life where leadership pedestals are being toppled? The things, the awarenesses around wherever Leo is in your chart is coming. One thing I do want to mention is that Mercury and Jupiter are conjoining on the 15th, I think it is. I think it's the 15th. And that means like a deal or something that a breakthrough or an opportunity shows up. So that was yesterday, because you'll get this on the 16th. But with everything, energy travels. So this weekend may be a big weekend for you. And if it is, great. You also could just receive awareness around your voice being amplified in some way. Maybe you decide to start a new podcast. Yeah, that came up last week. So yeah, I'm going to start adding some resources for astrology on the bottom, and for you all to just go get curious. You will have your own, like, absolutely, totally, you have your own specific astrologers. But I always say, look at a couple of different ones. It gives you different insights to different avenues of different perspectives. Remember, we are in the eclipse. Remember, Mercury is in Leo. Remember that Mars is in Cancer. And so we're still navigating through that energy. And one thing to remember in our podcast, because we did go back and listen to the podcast that we posted on Tuesday night last week. But Jupiter is also in Leo, and Jupiter expands things. And so whatever is happening, it may feel dramatic. It may feel big because it's being amplified by Jupiter. And not in a bad way. I don't think it's a bad way. I think it's in a like, let's really look at the root of this. Like, let's really be faced with what we are not looking at. Let's really bring in the wisdom of this energy that wherever Leo is or whatever is happening in the world, let's really expose it to the point where we now need to consciously take care of whatever is coming up. And that is, I think, what sets us up for, whatever timeline, whatever evolvement, whatever level we're going to, because I don't necessarily want to have to visit this again in this lifetime. Doesn't mean the similar astrology won't hit, but it's that kind of like, if it hits, it's a reminder of, oh yeah, okay, I'm good because I did all the work. Yeah.
Mhm.
So friends, we these last 2 weekly readings have been full of like really big transformative information and really big insight about things, and really encouraging you to step kind of outside that comfort zone so that you're not stuck. Yeah, that's we're just asked, get unstuck. Get unstuck. You are the one with the power to make the change in your life in a ways that align with you. And yeah, there's a lot of fear around that, and there's a lot of, but I don't know, but you do know, because it'll come. It'll come. The information, wisdom, whatever you need will show up for you. I promise.
Your inner being always does know. We just got to clear out the stuff that's hanging out on top of it.
True story. True story. All right, friends, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, love you. Thanks for listening. We hope we gave you something to support your journey. Check out our Facebook or Instagram page to connect with us. Have a great week.